Welcome, everyone, to the newest episode of the Bronx Muchachos podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and tonight we have with us Danny.
What up, everybody?
We got Dave.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy Friday.
We got Alex.
Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Please remember to subscribe, rate, review, like on Apple Podcasts. Any platform where you guys can podcast. Your treat on Facebook, we're looking to get about 400 members for the Bronx Muchachos Mafia page that we have by opening day. So we want to invite people to join, and then everyone invite other members, give a quick hello, and who referred to them. And day before opening day, the person who has the most people joining will get a free hat, like the ones you see here on our YouTube channel. So, boys, I think we have something to address today. Big war that's going on that happened today between Jeff Passan and David Sampson. Both going back and forth on Twitter. I think each one got a couple of good shots in there, a couple of good haymakers coming across the bow. What do you guys think?
It was entertaining, that's for sure. It was nice little entertainment for the middle of the day.
Yeah. I saw Passion make a couple comments that were kind of funny, like, you honestly don't know what you're talking about type of thing. So I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah, I saw the same thing. It's like he broke it all down financially, and then Samson was like, well, this isn't the way it looks like, and blah, blah. And then Passon was like, yeah, what do you know? And then he goes, I'll wait for your response. Oh, wait, you don't know anything. It's like, man.
Samson came back a little bit afterwards. He goes, I could teach you a bunch of things if you want, but it would ruin your narrative. And then Passon just comes back and goes, the only reason why you know anything about baseball is because your stepdad owned a team. That's the only reason why.
Oh, man.
That's dirty.
Man.
And for everyone here watching, who the newest face on here is the esteemed Paul Woodin from Prospects 1500. Paul, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Hey guys, good evening. Good to be with you guys tonight. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for joining us, man. So for everyone who doesn't know you, why don't you give us a little bit of bona fides, give us a little bit of history about yourself, my friend.
Been a Yankees fan since Don Mattingly, Derek Jeter. Grew up watching those guys and all the championships from them on. I was a big Don Mattingly fan growing up. Just something about the way he acted on the field and his production on the field was always attractive to me. And then Jeter came around and them guys. Big Robinson Cano fan before he left as well. Currently work for Prospects 1500 as a Yankees prospect guy. Hopefully we'll go from there.
Absolutely. What got you into looking at and viewing and kind of diving deep into the prospects as opposed to looking at the big league club?
I was actually pretty lucky growing up. The AA team of the Yankees, the Norwich Navigators, was in Norwich, Connecticut, and I lived about 20 minutes from there. I got to see a bunch of rehab guys go through there, Matt Drew and all the up-and-coming prospects through there. Shane Spencer was through there and so on. So it's kind of like, hey, that's super awesome watching those guys at AA and going from there. I got to see Clemens, Strawberry, all the rehab guys as well.
Can't go wrong with them, especially back in the day through the 80s, 90s, man. You got everyone coming through there.
Yep. As soon as they started over there, it was great.
So let's jump into a couple things here. Since Paul, you had a top 50 list, and we're going to talk mainly about the top 10. So I think the first and foremost thing we definitely need to look at is in the top 5 of the list you have there. You have 3 of the top 5 are shortstops, and actually the top 2 are shortstops, and Anthony Volpe and Oswald Peraza. And I know you don't know this, but Dave here is the president of the Oswald Peraza fan club.
That I am. I am the proud president of that fan club. Peraza
Okay.
2022, baby.
I agree. Save the money. Put it somewhere else. Put it on some pitching.
There we go. That was my question. Do you think that Peraza it should be the starting shortstop in 2022?
They went through a bunch of just crappy guys and kind of rotated that around. So why not use them and give him some experience? He's on the 40 at this point. Give him some experience. Even if he bets 260, that'll hold weight. in that lineup. Just stick him in the 7 or 8 hole and be okay.
And what do you think about Volpe? One of Volpe's biggest things that he said in the past couple of days was that he talked about how he'd love to play with Peraza and how the possibility of the two of them being a double team tandem in possibly
Absolutely.
AAA, even in the Bronx. So
Yep, absolutely. That's where I was going to go with this. I figure if you can put Volpe at second base and Peraza at shortstop, you have the middle infield for the next 10 years, if not more. And then I have Sweeney as a trade trip. I have all the other shortstop, Vargas as a trade chip and whatnot. I'm all set there. I can just figure out third base and go from there.
what do you think about? What do you think? While Dave's got the Peraza fan club, I am fully entrenched in the Roderick Arias fan club. I'm taking the long play. I'm buying the long stock on him. So what do you think? Where do you think he fits into the whole mix? Do you think?
If that's the case and he moves up quick enough, you can move Peraza over to third. Why not? Guy's got an arm. Guy's got a cannon.
Yep.
See, you just get
Move him to third base. I'm gonna get 20 home runs. I'm gonna get Gold Glove defense. Give me that.
You're speaking my language all day long, man. You're making me a happy man.
I'm looking to save money somewhere, right? We're looking to save money so we can spend other places like starting pitching, like first base. Eventually, you're going to have to re-sign Judge and whatnot. Those guys are going to cost money. Save on the infield.
Exactly.
For sure. Hey, Paul, I got a kind of interesting question for you. Just based on the prospects that we got, in your top 10, where do you see the lineup in like 2025 with just like prospects and guys we got on the roster right now?
Out of my top 10, let's see. Like I said, I want to see Volpe at second. I want to see Peraza at shortstop. J-Dom will be up, obviously. Lewis Gill. I love Lewis Gill. That's like my guy. I don't know. I want him as a closer though. I don't really want him as a starter. I'm looking at 98 miles an hour at the pen. That's kind of my theory on that. Roderick Arias, he's long, like you said, long play. But in the 10 years, why not? Same thing, infield somewhere. Austin Wells, I want to see if they keep him at catcher. Little iffy still, obviously. We don't know what's going on there. But my guy's Antonio Gomez, so I'm looking at him as catcher. That's my guy. I've kind of been stuck on him. I thought he kind of been higher. I worked with someone else as well in the top 50, so we kind of had to put him where we both thought. Clark Smith, let's see what the injury progress is like. I don't want him to be Chance Adams. We all remember what happened to that.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's a great comp right now.
That stuck hard. That's all I keep thinking about is Chance Adams. Nothing against the man, Chance Adams, great guy. Just hasn't been productive at all. And again, hurt. And Clark Smith, same way. Medina, same thing. Want to see him either in the pen or as a starter. Sweeney, we discussed that earlier. Shortstop, third base, trade chip. And let's see, what else we got here? We got Everson Pereira. We wanted to talk about him later. I know we touched on that. Right in center field, man. Right in center field.
So you move.
Hey, Paul, real quick, to keep with the Peraza theme that we got going on here, since Mark kind of stole my thunder a little bit, but no hard feelings. Why do you think, what do you think the chances are that the Yankees organization goes with him at shortstop, obviously the low-cost option, versus spending the 10 years and $300 million plus on Correa, or going the short route and it seems like everyone's on this bandwagon and giving Story a 3-year deal and shoving him at shortstop and then doing something with him later on down the road, give or take what happens with the prospect pool?
If I can get Story for 3 years, I'll take him next year at shortstop, and then you can play him around the infield, I feel like. And you can even stick him in the outfield. A lot of rumor on that. Guy's athletic enough for Trevor Story to go out there for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I'm not a Aaron Hicks guy. That was a big waste of money. I'm sure you guys probably agree on that.
It seemed like a good idea at the time for the amount of money they were paying him for what he did for the season he had in 2018. Obviously, no one saw the injury coming in the year after that, but I thought it was a good contract when they signed him to it. But obviously, has not aged very well. But
I'm right there with you, Dave. Like, I thought Hicks for $770. I was like, oh man, we're getting a steal for this guy, switch hitting outfielder that could play the corners even when he gets older. You weren't expecting the sheath injury. You weren't expecting Tommy John. Like, those are two injuries that for an outfielder Well, maybe the sheath injury, but Tommy John, like,
Yeah.
that came out of nowhere for sure.
Yeah.
So
What we needed was, Doc Fly to come out of nowhere with that little time machine and tell us what happened, because
yeah,
it didn't happen.
yeah. Because now he's kind of an albatross. But $10 million is not that much, but you don't want to be spending $10 million on a fourth outfielder. And that's essentially what Aaron Hicks is right now until he proves himself otherwise.
Nope, absolutely.
So
All right, so let me ask you this:
yeah, I just don't
we've all been
understand
seeing.
what.
We've seen. Go for it, Dave.
I just don't understand like why there's this apprehension to play Peraza at short. I mean, he's pretty high up there in the depth chart in the minor leagues, and everyone's like, oh, trade him, or Volpe is the future. It's like, yeah, but you need a stopgap. Well, bring in Andrelton Simmons. It's like, well, if you're gonna do that, why didn't you just keep Tyler Wade or Andrew Velasquez if you wanted a stopgap option for shortstop? Play the kid. See what he can do, even if it's just for a year, for him to get his stock up to be a trade chip down the road when Volpe is ready to get something back in return for him. Do it that way. That's just where I'm at with this. Play him or trade him.
100% agree. I mean, the dude's a great defender in the minor leagues. He has smooth hands, the strong arm, the good instincts. 100%. If I get 250, 260, batting seventh or eighth, let's go.
I'm sold.
So I'm of the fan club where Peraza is going to be a great Oakland A because Matt Olson is going to be a Yankees first baseman if they don't acquire Freddie Freeman. But I think the smart play for that is to spend the money on Freddie and figure out keep your prospects, because that's the real value, I feel. But the money could be spent. Spend the money. I don't care. So he'll be a great Oakland A. I wish him the best.
Let me ask, you're not a Luke Voigt fan at all?
Luke Voigt?
Yeah, Luke Voigt fan at all?
I like Voigt for what he did, but I think it's time to move on. I think we need left-handed power at first base. And Voigt could get us a starting pitcher, maybe like a 4 or 5 type of guy, maybe a middle reliever, to kind of supplement the starting rotation. So I think Voigt is a great trade chip, and he was good for what he was, when he was here, but that's it.
I feel bad for Voigt. He gets so much hate lately. I feel bad for the guy. I want to give him a hug.
He might crush you if you hug him.
Yeah, maybe.
He might.
I just feel bad for the kid.
I agree. I kind of feel bad too. Like, the guy, he did do what he did, and there were times that he just gave some soul for the team, but it's sad to say it. Like, I don't want to say that. Like, there's times out there seeing him going up there, that one button down, like, oh yeah, look at me, I'm Mr. Rico Suave over here. It's like, okay, cool. I see what you're doing. But now it's like, you know what, bro? Danny says, Oakland's a nice spot. It's California. At least you'd be nicer over there.
Yeah, it's NorCal up there, man. It's a little chilly. I don't think he's gonna be keeping that shirt unbuttoned the entire time.
What about you, Paul? How you feel about Voigt? Do you see him on this roster, on the 25-man roster or 26-man roster now?
Boy. Depends on what we do at first base. I don't think he has that much value right now, though, in the trade market. First base is always an empty hole. Like, everybody has a first baseman for the most part. It's kind of like the hardest thing to give away,
But like, with the universal DH, though, that kind of opens up 15 more jobs for him, essentially. Like a team like Milwaukee that needs power. Like, the best power hitter right now on that roster is Hunter Renfroe, because Christian Yelich is not, the same type of guy right now. So give me
Rowdy Tellez in that roster. Give me. I love that kid. That's a different team, obviously, but I love that kid.
Yeah,
that kid's your DH. He's a big kid. And
when the Blue Jays traded him, I was just kind of like scratching my head. I was like, you had him and Vlad Guerrero in the same lineup. I'm like, why did you trade him? Like, what are you doing? That blew my mind a little bit.
I think he struggled a little bit right before they traded him, and he got real hot when he went to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So they sold low.
They had Dan Vogelback on that roster too.
Yes.
Which is like Rowdy Tellez times 2. That dude is huge.
Yeah.
But I think Voigt would be great, kind of like going back to the NL Central. for any of those teams, to be honest.
I think Cincinnati for Voit to be perfect. I mean, he can he can give Goldschmidt a couple days off throughout the week, play DH most of the time, and then you can pair him up with Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado in that lineup. I mean, that's not a bad 2-3-4 or 3-4-5 right there.
All right. Well,
Yeah, going back to St. Louis.
Paul, I got a good question for you.
What's up?
This is actually about the man who has the same last name as me, the Martian, Dominguez.
Okay.
How long do you think he's going to stay in the minors with what we realistically have right now with Stanton and Judge when he gets re-signed? Like, and we're already talking about all these different moves that could happen, possibilities. How long can we legitimately keep Dominguez in the minors for how many years? You think?
I'm gonna say 3. Going with 3. That gives us time to figure out the DH spot, figure out the outfield spots, figure out what you got on first base at that point. I mean, I'm a fan of the youth. I'd like to see I'm going to say a blow up, but not really. I'd like to see some of the youth playing. I'd like to see Pereira. I'd like to see Dominguez in the outfield. Right now, you don't have that. You have too much clog in the outfield situation.
Yep. And I'm actually impressed also, like when from hearing him talk earlier this week, it was actually impressive. I was like, okay, look at you. He's actually working on speaking well in English.
He's been working with Rachel, the coach. I can't think of her last name. Bell. I can't pronounce her last name, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it either. It is hard.
They've been working on English together. I don't know if you saw that tweet.
Yeah,
I guess
saw that.
Working on English with that. So that was pretty impressive when he was doing the English interviews.
Exactly. Compared to everyone else, that's like all the other Dominicans that come up, it's like they learn it, but they don't really work on it too much. And he's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm learning it. I'm going to test myself out there with media to actually get better.
The one thing going in with him, even before signing him, they knew he was a hard worker on and off the field. And I think that was a big thing. No one was talking about the out of field work. That goes with it. The English language goes with it and all that stuff, like being accustomed to you in the United States of America, different than where he came from altogether.
100%. I agree.
So it took him a little while to kind of get used to the States and whatnot. I think that was also a situation in his batting average and the production last year as well. It was getting used to the States pitching, getting used to the minor league pitching. I think
he's 3 years younger than the average low A player too, right?
Right. I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I was also impressed just seeing him this week when just to see him, he's like, he looks like basically Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald.
Built, man.
He's a man among children by the size of him. Like
I was impressed. I was like,
massive.
I would be scared walking down a dark alley and I see him walking toward me. I'm like, you know what? Go on. You have the right of way.
Mike, go ahead.
I was going to ask you, what do you think about him? Everyone's saying that he dropped anywhere between 10 to 20 pounds, and then how he revamped his entire left-handed swing. What do you think? What do you think about those two things for him?
My concern is still the speed. He was already a big boy, and you all saw the tweets and saw the videos. He kind of stumbles around the bases. He's not the smoothest of base runners. Little concerning being that young, not able to move around as quick as he was able to originally when he gained all that weight. That concerns me a tiny bit. I'm not seeing like 30 steals anymore. Maybe like teens, low 20s.
Kind of like that last week, that Cal and Houston game where you had that one player who was running the bases and he just tore, and he was on the ground. Like he must have tore something after hitting first base.
I mean, even at this rate, with losing the speed, he's not a true center fielder anymore. Now we're talking about the corners, which Aaron Judge is in one corner. This next 7 years, we just discussed Aaron Hicks. Still got him stuck. He's not playing center field at that old. So then now you have to figure out something to do with Hicks or Dominguez.
What do you think about that? What do you think about that new revamped left-handed swing? Kind of now he's got it's keeping both hands on the little bit more, little bit less of an uppercut. It's not as long anymore. It's a little bit shorter.
Yeah, it's a little more fluid than it was before. It looks like it's just fluid more to the ball, more through and to the ball. Again, I want to see it versus like live pitching in a game. What we're doing down in the stadium now, that's, all right, they're throwing a little bit, you're hitting a little bit. Let's go see that in a game. That's my take on that, to be honest. I want to see it continuous. I want to see it fluid. I want to see it. Let's keep going with that every at bat.
You expect a huge breakout year for him?
Sure. Yeah, we'll go with it. We'll go with it.
Where do you think? Where do you think he ends up? You think he? I know. I'm pretty sure he spends like a month in low A, makes the jump to high A ball. Do you think he winds up at double A this year or no? Or he's got to really tear the cover off the ball.
Yeah, he's gonna have to tear the cover off the ball. I think they're gonna take it nice and slow. No reason to rush this. No reason. Everything is blocked at upper levels. No reason to rush this. If maybe he ends up the last month at double A, last couple of weeks at double A, just to get him more at bats. Kind of like, hey, our season's over. We'll bump you to double A just to get you a handful of at bats.
Yeah, get a cup of coffee up there at double A. One thing that I find pretty interesting, he was 3 years younger than the average low A player, but he also had 21 walks in 49 games and for 346 on base. So that tells me that he's seeing the ball, that he's not exactly being overwhelmed. So that's good foreboding for Dominguez, and I would like to see that number stay the same or even go up. Just continue to be patient. 5 homers, 19 RBIs, 9 stolen bases, 27 walks overall. The K's 73. That's probably a little bit high, but in 241 at bats. But like I said, being 3 years younger than the average player down there, he's at a distinct disadvantage. So, but that walk totals tells me a lot. I'm ready to see him kind of dominate low A and just absolutely tear the cover off the ball, kind of like what Volpe did, and kind of come out. Well, Dominguez is never going to come out of nowhere. If you're being compared to Mike Trout and Bo Jackson, you're not coming out of nowhere. But for him to just actually show it and do it, I'm looking forward to that.
I mean, right from the get-go, we knew he had a great feel for the barrel of the bat. He was mature on both sides of the plate. He has a strength from both sides of the plate. We knew he was mature beyond his years. That was the first thing that was said, like right from the get-go. The discipline was great, above average right from the get-go.
So you mentioned Luis Medina a little bit earlier. Do you see him as a closer? Because he has great stuff. Do you prefer him in that role, or how do you want to use him in the future? Or how do you think the Yankees use him in the future?
I want to see him be a starter still. I absolutely do. But I also, like I said before, I'm a big Luis Gil fan. If Medina don't work out as a starter and neither does Gil, I'm looking at 8 and 9. Cheap 8 and 9 for the next 5 to 6 years, 7 years. I can have my 8th inning guy, my 9th inning guy locked up. I understand we lose rotation pieces at that point. But again, I'm to the point of let's save money on the middle infield. Let's save money other places and go spend in that rotation. That's been the issue for a decade. We haven't spent on that rotation. Besides for Garrett Cole, what have we got? They refuse to spend on the rotation. Yeah. Go spend on the rotation. Use all the minor leaguers.
Yeah, I would like to see. Well, hopefully, Sevy could have like a full healthy year, because that's what we've been missing too. 2018, 2019, 2020. Sevy being hurt, but he's one of our homegrown guys. But it's just a matter of him putting it all together, and that'd be a lot to ask after Tommy John. But I would love to see Medina as a closer, bro. I really would. That hammer curve, throwing 98 to like 101, and he could really let loose at the back end. So I've seen him touch 102. Like he could do it. So that's kind of like Chapman from the right side. Just look at his mechanics; they're repeatable. Like he's a lot of legs, he's a lot of arm, but it seems like he's repeating it. So he doesn't have to worry about too much about the command or anything like that, especially at the back end of the bullpen. So I would love to see him kind of like take that role and dominate with it. But he's kind of like Hill, like you're saying, like similar type of stuff. Maybe not the same type of breaking ball. Hill has more of a sharper slider, I feel like, and Medina has that big 12-6 breaking ball, but they still throw like that 98 to 100. So that would be really nasty. Kind of like Betances back in the day.
Nope, absolutely. The curveball is nasty. The best pure stuff in the system, hands down. And the improved command. Yeah, the command was little bit off to begin. The command has definitely improved. Let's see some more of that too.
Hey, Paul, I think I got a way to solve your rotation problems. I'm going to ask you about these two guys right here, Hayden Wisniewski and Ken Waldichuk. Do you see them being viable options in the rotation going forward for 22, 23, and 24? Or do you see them leaning more towards guys like J.P. Sears and Clark Schmidt?
Man, I feel like all four of those guys at best are like mid rotation guys. I want an ace.
Okay. Yeah,
that's me. I'm an ace guy. Again, spend the money, get an ace. I don't mind those guys. I think Hayden's like an innings eater type of guy. Same with Clark. Clark has the pedigree, but can he stay healthy as well? Issue after issue. Same thing. And then we talked about Hayden, same thing, like a 3 and 4. It's just they're just all middle guys, like 3, 4, 5. I want an ace.
Yeah.
Being a fan,
unfortunately,
I want an ace.
Fortunately, there's not a lot of those out there right now.
Absolutely, but like a guy like Sears,
problem.
I could see him being dealt away. We were just talking about Matt Olson and such. He could be in that package.
That's true.
He could be in that. Hayden could be in that package. Those are the kind of guys Oakland seems to get in these kind of packages. Like 3 4s, 2 3 4s, somewhere thereabouts. They're not going to get an ace in this package.
Yeah, I mean, look what they did with James Caprillion. They took him as off the scrap heap being injured and turned him into a rock star. So
exactly,
I don't know what's in the water out there, but
he's going to be a solid 2, like a great 3, a solid 2, sure. But if I can get Matt Olson, if I
what do you think about? Sorry, there's a bit of a lag. What do you think about Lockridge? You think he's a viable option in the outfield this year, given our outfield issues last year, and that I really don't want to see repeat this year? Do you like him over Florial? Do you think Florial has the upper hand over him? Like, do you see them eventually at some point this season protecting him from the Rule 5 draft so that we don't get Garrett Whitlocked again and he turns into a stud?
Speed, that's his game. Speed. He reminds me of Brett Gardner, sort of. Speed. He's kind of a slash guy. He's not really a power guy. It's a Brett Gardner clone almost. A little shorter maybe. I was a Florial fan going up. I think he was rushed way too much. He was on the shuttle back and forth. I think it was 7 times last year.
Yeah.
It was absolutely ridiculous. Like, give the kid some consistent at-bats. He's always been hurt. I stick him in center field, stick him in a corner at AAA and say, here you go. Here's 180 at-bats, hands down. Just here it is. This is what he needs. He doesn't need to be the 4th outfielder that they call up if someone's hurt and they're going to start some bench guy, some scrub in right field and have him sit there. What are we doing with this guy then?
Yeah,
give him consistent at-bats. Let him stop chasing pitches. Let him learn the strike zone a little bit better.
Yeah, he definitely was at a disadvantage when he got his arm broken in that spring training. I think it was 2016 or 2017. I think that really set him back. What do you think? Do you think the busted hand and he missing the whole season that year kind of derailed him a little bit? Or
he's always hurt. Let's be honest. He's always hurt.
Wasn't it 2 years in a row he broke a wrist or the same wrist he broke 2 years
in
in a row?
He got his forearm broken by a hit by pitch. And then he sprained his wrist or broke his wrist diving for a ball in the outfield, when he came back. And then there was, I think, a leg injury at some point or whatever. But I mean, he was batting 218 in AAA, so that's why I'm kind of like, are we still going to keep this guy as the 4th outfielder, or are we going to move on to somebody else that can get on base consistently? I just don't know.
I think the raw talent's still there. I do. I think the raw talent's still there. I mean, he's only 24, got a little bit of time. Again, that's another great example of a guy that could be dealt away. Absolutely. The Yankees are I'm going to say that the Yankees are kind of tired of it, and that's a great opportunity, great guy to package away. I mean, they did it to Alcantara. Why won't they do it to him?
I like Alcantara too. I thought that was a bad move that they got rid of him. But it seemed like this past year they were getting rid of a bunch of guys that they gave up on or something like that. Even Antonio Cabello, they gave up on him pretty fast as well.
They gave up Glenn Otto in that Texas deal too for Gallo. Yep. He was turning up the heat in Double-A with Waldichuk.
Right.
Ezekiel Duran was turning it up too in the middle infield, and the lefty Josh Smith, he was doing pretty good down in Double-A before he got dealt. So it's interesting to see that the Yankees, are being aggressive, which we want to see that. I mean, we want to win, but at the same time, Paul, you kind of touched upon a little bit earlier the thought about maybe blowing it up, and it's just like that's kind of been on my mind as well because I feel like we're stagnant. I'm not sure how much better we're gonna get, currently speaking, because if we get a guy like Matt Olson or the guys we were talking about throughout, throughout the episode, that obviously changes things. But currently constructed, it's not promising.
Right. Same thing. It's rinse and repeat. 95, 100 wins, somewhere thereabouts. An early exit. We don't have the rotation depth. We don't have the depth to pull it all together.
All right,
I
Paul,
agree. I'm just sick of the injuries. I'm just sick and tired of every year there's just being this injury plague, and it's disrupting the chemistry with the team, and they just can never find their footing. It just seems like they've taken a step back every year since 2017, when they were 27 outs away from the World Series. So that's what I want to see is more consistency out of this team.
All right, Paul, I have a question for you. Okay, here, and we're going to move it up to the catcher. Austin Wells or Gomez?
Gomez.
So we're trading away Wells then?
Nope. I'm to the thought that Austin Wells doesn't sign behind the home plate.
That's what I've always said that. I said that I would never refer to Austin Wells as a catcher anymore.
He's
first
working.
First base or left field is where I think
he's working and he's working.
You're hearing you again right now, Mark. Like look, Paul's repeating what you say.
He's working awfully hard. I'll give Wells 100% credit as a person. He on and off the field, he works awfully hard. Everything I've seen personally, online, everything I've seen, he's a great player, great guy. I'm just a Antonio Gomez fan. I think it has a little bit to do with Gary Sanchez's lack of defense. That sounds funny. It does. It sounds funny.
It's true.
All right, but it's the truth. But here's my thought about this.
Go ahead.
If I had Antonio Gomez at the big leagues right now, he's a 220, 210 hitter, but he's also a better glove than Gary Sanchez.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's my thought. The dude has an obnoxious pop time. I think it's 1.6, somewhere thereabouts, 1.8, 1.6. I think it's 1.8. He's got good display at bats, good pop at the plate, good power at the plate. He's gonna get bigger. Power's gonna go up a little bit.
He's already got a cannon of an arm too.
Yep, exactly. But the pop is ridiculous. It's like 1.8.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
If the Yankees don't trade him, how many more years are we playing the game with the Sanchez?
Oh, he's light years away. We're like 2025.
Yeah.
2025. You got a couple other guys like Wells, and
I just need to know so that way I could get myself ready in case it goes the wrong way that I don't want, and I'm gonna be like, "Yay, Gary, he's our man. He can't do it."
But can we go spend money at catcher? Can we trade for a catcher?
That's the Roma in 2023.
I was a Sanchez guy when he came up, sure, but now I can't get by with what he's doing offensively. The defense is now suspect at all times. I'm looking at the ninth innings. I'm like, Chapman's gonna bounce one, he's gonna miss it, they're gonna score a run, we're gonna lose. I don't want to go in thinking Chapman's blowing one and Sanchez is gonna lose one on a pass.
And then on top of it, we can't even depend on him whenever Cole's pitching, because whenever Cole's pitching, Cole's getting his personal catcher anyway.
Yeah, but that's the same thing. We can replace him. He's a backup catcher. Again, against Kyle, good guy, backup catcher. He's a 200 hitter, just about thereabouts. Give me a guy that's going to get me 265 in 115, 130, 150 at bats. I don't need anything crazy.
Yeah, the days of Liritz and Girardi all over again if we had that.
Yep.
Memories.
Well, speaking of another guy that's that you said was a different
Yeah,
position was Trace Sweeney. I know that right now they're looking at him. They keep him at shortstop, but
Yep.
I know you said trade bait. I've heard trade bait as well. A lot of people are saying trade bait. A lot of people are saying third base or corner infield at the
Corner
League.
outfield.
Oh, corner outfield. Okay, now
Corner
we're
outfield. But again, then we're going to clog up our outfield.
too many corner outfielders now.
Too many at that point. Yep, correct. Kid's got good bat to ball skills, ability. Kid has been gobbling up at shortstop. I don't know if you guys have seen any of the videos and the highlights on Instagram and Twitter. Been gobbling the ball up. He looks great on defense. He's a little big. That's my concern. He's just a little big for a shortstop. Like that's where my third base move is coming into play, or my corner outfield is coming into play. But again, Matt Olson, Trey Sweeney, kind of a match. That's kind of one of them guys that Oakland looks for. A higher caliber talent when a team doesn't need him. I'm gonna say need loosely, but has an access of a certain spot. Shortstop, your extra.
Age is in the right area for them because they always like young players.
Yeah, and he's gonna become middle tier guy. You know, he'll be a solid major leaguer, not like a superstar.
I think Trey Sweeney, because time he spent in college, might be a little bit of a fast mover in our system. Being a lefty bat with the potential to play third and first, and you're saying even corner outfield. Do you think he could be by AAA by 2023? Because he did okay in low A, so starting the season at 2023 at AAA.
Double A with a call up to AAA. Again, that depends on who we're trading, what kind of moves we're making. If Peraza gets traded, then you have him to go up a level. I'm saying like late 2023, same thing. Like here's a cup of coffee, enjoy it, give you an extra opportunity for a couple of bats, and then start 2024 in AAA and go from there. What do you got? You got Peraza? Do you got Volpe? Do you got Cabrera? We haven't even brought up Cabrera at all, even.
Yeah.
That's
I feel like
another.
Cabrera's gonna make. Where does he fit in all this madness? That's what I want to know.
If I need, here's the thing: if Gio gets hurt or we don't find a magic third baseman to replace Gio or some sort of veteran backup for Gio, third base, that's where he fits. Nobody's talking about. He took a lot of at bats at third base.
He did.
Had a lot of time at third base, and I think the Yankees brass saw the same thing that we're talking about: Volpe, Peraza, Cabrera, all the same time.
So basically, you think the brass is already seeing that it could be a nice core infield for a good 10 years, possibly.
I mean, you saw you have 5 shortstops in the top 20 play. What are you going to do with them all? There's only limited levels now. If you're cutting all the minor league levels, you got to do something with the other guys. Whether if it's third base, the outfield, you got to do something with them.
You think Cabrera?
So you're trading away Torres, you're trading away DJ, you're getting rid of Urshela, and then whatever you're doing.
Personally, I'm a DJ to second base guy, not first base. That's just me personally. The production at first base on the offensive side of the ball wasn't that great. He's not really a masher like a first baseman is. I'm a second base him. And as much as it hurts, Gleyber Torres back to short. Kid's still really young.
No.
They won't give him a chance. I understand his defense was terrible. I get that.
We could
always
great trade.
It's up here.
Trade though.
It's up here for Gleyber.
That was painful to watch last year.
Gleyber Torres again. When we talk about Matt Olson again,
exactly.
Trade
Gleyber and keep the younger player that's from the system already.
Can we trade Gleyber, sign Trevor Story to 3 years, and go from there? I can probably go get some sort of decent bullpen piece and some sort of fourth outfielder maybe for Gleyber.
Mm-hmm.
I could even maybe get like a middle rotation starter from somewhere.
But here's the thing, too. Isn't Story hell-bent on staying at short, though, and not moving positions?
Well, I'm leaving Story at shortstop for now. If he's on a 3-year deal, I'm leaving him there for now and put DJ at second. I got 2 years.
Let everyone else mature.
Yep, exactly. My thought is 2 years of Story at shortstop, and then you figure it out. Still got the DH. Still got to figure out other things you can figure out.
I'd move Gleyber in a deal with Cincinnati to get Luis Castillo.
Let's do it.
Gleyber plus, let's see. They want pitching most likely. So Gleyber plus Luis Gil
No.
You want to throw a Luis Heel in there for a Luis Castillo?
I would throw Brandon Beck in there.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'd throw Brandon
What
Beck.
about-
I'm a Luis fan, so I'm sorry. That's just my
Yeah. How about a guy like TJ Sycamore? I mean, he was our second rounder, had Tommy John and all that, but with Cincinnati potentially being interested in a guy like that with high upside from the left side, potentially in a deal like that, because Gleyber will obviously headline it, but you want to add some pitching depth.
right.
Randy Vasquez would be an interesting name. So, we're just kind of shooting from the hip here and that type of deal, but I don't think that's even on the table. I think the Yankees really believe in Gleyber, and they're not going to trade him at any point in time. So he's going to be playing second base, and I just think that's where they should keep him. They should never mention shortstop to him ever again. Get it out of his brain. Have him hit 25 to 30 homers playing second base and leave him alone.
Where are you moving DJ? First base?
DJ is going to be all over the place for me. That's what he came here for. He showed last year that he's not – well, I don't even want to say that. DJ last year being hurt, he didn't have the same impact bat that he had in his first year. So with him being able to play second, play third, play first, have him do it. Have him play a different position a couple times during the week. Put less stress on him physically and less stress on him having to be that guy, because he just wasn't the guy last year. It wasn't even close.
Well, then, Danny, let me ask you this. How are you doing that if you sign Freddie Freeman? You're going to tell Freddie he's going to take a seat to let DJ play first so he can get his bat in the lineup?
Freddie's going to play every day. But John Carl's going to play left. Freddie Freeman could DH. You could have DJ at first. There's multiple ways.
Danny, look at it this way, though.
There's so many different ways.
Okay,
You got Stanton staying healthy is my question.
But Danny, also look at it this way, though.
In the outfield?
Who, DJ?
No, if you have Stanton in the outfield every day or just about every day,
no, not every day. I'm saying so
like 3 days a week in the outfield.
Three days a week.
31 years old in your prime, you can't play the outfield every day. That's an issue.
I agree, but we've seen it.
But that's what he did last year. He put up 38 and almost 100. So I'm okay with John Carlo playing 3 to 4 days on the outfield. He could spell Freddie. Hopefully this is a problem that I would love to have this problem if we have Freddie on the team. I would love to have this problem, but you can have Freddie play first, 4 or 5 days out of the week. He's going to DH one day. You can put John Carlo out there and left 3 or 4 days. And DJ is going to spell someone third, second, first, DH, because he's going to get 400 or 500 days at 400 to 500 at bats no matter what. I just don't think that he's that guy anymore. I just don't. The way I saw him last year, it was really alarming.
Kind of hard to play with your whole abdomen torn in half, bro.
Yeah, I get that, but it was just really bad.
But Danny, also look at it though. Look at it this way. When you go to work, do you want to do the same thing that you know how to do really, really well? So basically, second base, you could do it every day and you could get better and better at it every day. Or do you want to be like, okay, oh, what am I doing today, coach? Oh, third base. Got it. Let me go get my mindset for that. Oh, what am I doing today, coach? Outfield, you got it. It's better mindset to know I'm going to be there in second base every day for the rest of the season, unless I'm injured. That's a better mindset for a player as well.
Yeah, but don't you want the versatility? You want the versatility that he's going to allow by going to the different spots.
But the way this team is looking like for the future, it's not going to be versatile. We could have the versatility for injuries, yes, but it's the way it should be from opening day. It should probably stay like that for a long time.
Well, I get you, but you got to remember this. You got DJ who signed for 5 more years now, at $15 million per year.
4 more years.
I thought he signed a 6-year, 95 or 96.
He signed a 6-year deal before the 21 season, or the 20 season.
No, he's on the contract. No, it was a 21 season. I thought
21. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a 21. So he's got 5 more years. So no matter what, you got 5 more years with DJ going around playing. So they're gonna put that bat in the lineup somewhere.
So let me ask you guys. I don't know too much about each one of you, how you guys feel about this. Are you a power hitting first baseman, or are you going to get 25 home runs and a 300 average? Because you're going to get 25 and a 300 average out of DJ, or do you want a 40 home run first baseman?
40 home
I'd
runs.
rather
40.
see
I want the home runs. I was a
DJ's
big
out of it.
Jason
DJ's not-
Giambi fan. I would give me Jason Giambi again all day long.
DJ's not getting me 40 home runs at first base.
Give me the 300 batting average all day long.
But I want
But look-
that would be great at second base.
Look, DJ signed originally with us knowing that he's going to play different positions every day. He had that expectation. And for the majority of
He was
his
supposed to be a
great
bench player
season,
originally.
But guys,
he didn't start
I agree.
opening day.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what he signed up for. But look at it now. He can't. The way the future is looking like, it's going to turn into that he's going to find his own position to be at, and that's the only way to do it.
No, I disagree. You don't want DJ at second every day. You don't want a 35-year-old second baseman. You want athleticism up the middle. DJ is not going to provide. He's going to be with us when he's 35.
In the future.
When Alex
Got you.
is,
Never mind.
What Alex is saying, you want him to play every day at one position. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. The Yankees don't want that to happen.
I mean,
You don't want a 35-year-old second baseman playing
for
every
2
day.
years, and then after put him in second for 2 years, push him over to third. At least keep him in the infield, or push him into the outfield if we need to push him into the outfield. Yeah, I get it when he gets older, but as of right now, for the upcoming 2 seasons, keep him in short. I mean, in second. Like,
You prefer DJ over Gleyber at this point?
Yes.
No. I think there's still promise with Gleyber.
Gleyber is just hype. Okay, unless this man is playing in Candlestick Park, he's not hitting a home run every day. Let's be real.
Camden
Sure
Yards.
as hell
hit a
not
home
hitting
run.
any more home runs in Orioles
Camden
Park
Yards,
anymore.
Camden
At least
Yards.
the
He's not hitting those home runs. Are we playing Baltimore every day? No.
No,
No,
I'm just
thank
saying.
God.
Trade him to Baltimore. Let him go to Baltimore. They'll hit home runs.
No, they're changing the ball. They're changing the park in Baltimore too.
Change it back.
Not
They moved
not enough.
they moved it back like 30 feet.
Oh, he was hitting freaking
And
60
up 7
back.
feet.
This is definitely something to watch during the season. For you, me and you, Alex.
Yes.
We're gonna go back and forth because we're definitely on
are.
the opposite side. So
Trade him.
I'm
Trade him.
Team Gleyber. Alex
He's-
is like, yo, get him out
No,
of here. Nah,
he's young.
Gleyber's gonna have 25 homers.
You know what?
Exactly.
Yo, we're gonna have
DJ
Paul back.
know
He's
what
gonna
you
laugh
know.
at
Hey,
me.
we have a
He's
guest.
I'm going to be straight. I want Gleyber to have the best season he can until the trade deadline. The minute that trade deadline comes, they trade him out and get an ace pitcher in, and I'm happy.
Amen.
Goodbye, Gleyber.
Amen.
Oh man.
Yep. Yeah. And then we can see if
Go ahead. Go ahead.
we can
Paul.
see if
Go ahead.
Peraza is really hot at that point and just slide him right into shortstop.
Bam.
There's my replacement. Even if I lose 40 points off the batting average, I'm good with it. If you get an ace, it's not going to make a difference.
And then after it's all done, what do we get at the end of the season? A possibility of a beautiful thing, a ring.
No,
a
we're
chance.
going to get the ring. If we get another ace, we're going to get the ring. That's been
No,
the
we'll get the
issue
wild
for,
card.
We
ever.
get
We'll find a way to mess it up and get the wild card only.
or everyone will get hurt.
Hey man, it is what it is. You know, it's where we're at right now. Oh yeah, we could have this awesome trophy. No, sorry, you guys have settled for the dumpster fire that is every year since 17. Thanks a lot, Houston and Boston.
They're like Gleyber is the youngest. I see him and I just see beautiful trade.
All right, Nostradamus, you and your crystal ball.
No,
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And then guess what? I'm gonna tweet Paul and be like, "Hey, Paul, I was right."
I'm good
Gleyber's
with
gonna
it.
hit
Go ahead and
30.
trade him. I just said that. Go ahead and trade him. I just want the pitcher.
Exactly. Then we could be both happy because we were both right, Paul. Like, look,
Okay.
we called it.
You wouldn't
I
get the
heard
pitching. You're not gonna get the pitching unless
No, go
Gleyber
ahead.
actually does well. So
Hey, Paul,
we
let
need
me,
Gleyber to actually be a star.
Let me ask you about this one kid that's been on the roster, on the 40-man for a while that no one really knows anything about, or I think no one knows anything about. Yandres Gomez. Why did they protect him so early on, so young, over some other guys like, I don't know, Garrett Whitlock, for example?
Well, that's a tough one because every time I watch the Red Sox, especially as I'm
Yeah.
Whitlock's on the TV. It feels like every
Yeah,
time I turn on,
Exactly.
like Desson, there's Whitlock pitching an inning, and I'm like, oh man,
And driving
that'd have been great
shoving
for last-
baseballs down our throats.
It's the high spin rate on his fastball. That's what I'm gonna honestly say. Dude's fastball is ridiculous. Curveball is great. Coming off the Tommy John, he's a little while away, but again, I think the Yankees fell in love with that fastball. Unfortunately, because Whitlock is doing Whitlock stuff.
Yeah.
My concern with Whitlock is if he gets into that rotation this year or the year after and turns into a 2 or 3, we're going to be kicking ourselves.
Yeah, all for Brooks Krisky. Great.
Yep.
Go Cash.
And I mean, didn't he just sign overseas somewhere a little while ago?
I think he went to Japan or Korea.
Japan or Korea or something after his little stint in Baltimore.
Yeah.
God.
I mean,
that was hard to watch.
So let me ask you guys a question, just to stir that debate on releases and stuff. Brian Cashman, I'm a fan of he's got to go.
I don't think he's the problem. I think it's how.
How many years are we going to do with mediocrity, though? I mean, Cashman hasn't really done much in the winning formula. I haven't seen a ring in,
I'm of the philosophy of you are only successful as your owner allows you to be. If your owner is constantly every year being cheap, not wanting to spend money, going and picking up the likes of Andrew Heaney off the scrap heap from the LA Angels for no reason, and I honestly believe Hal is the problem behind this whole thing. He's tying Brian's hands, and Brian can't do what Brian probably knows he needs to do or wants to do.
Hold
on. If I was
on.
Cashman, I would just straight up quit my job.
Hold on. We're talking about the third highest payroll in the big leagues.
Yep.
And we didn't win anything. We didn't win the ring. We didn't win the East with the third highest payroll. How much more you want to spend? I mean, we're looking at, I think
it's
what?
Not the money that they're spending, it's that they're spending it in the wrong places.
That's Brian Cashman. He signs the players.
Hal writes the checks.
Yeah, but Brian, but Brian gets the autonomy to make the deals. He's the one who goes right to Hal, and he and Hal have that working relationship where Hal trusts him completely. To be honest with you, here's something out of the box here. I think Brian leaves when Theo Epstein becomes the next commissioner. That's what I think.
Oh, I like it.
Yep.
Yeah, Hal has to go though. I mean, not Hal. Cashman has to go. It is time for him because, yeah, you might be. You I get where you're coming from, Dave, on the whole Cashman. I mean, Steinbrenner, but you got to remember, Cashman. He had time with George. Okay, like the '96, '90s teams, they weren't built by Cashman. It wasn't. The only championship he realistically built was the one in 09.
09.
Okay, so he's only done one championship actually.
You can say that when he actually paid. He bought that. They bought that championship.
Almost half a
$1 billion. You know who else won championship? George Heinzinga. He did it for the Marlins.
So
a lot of people have. Don't get me wrong, but they threw a lot of money at just to get that championship in 09. And I'm all for it. Give me the rings all the time.
They kind of needed to. George was like George. We all knew George was knocking on the door. We didn't want to go out without that.
He's like, hey, TikTok, I'm almost dead. Let's go. Let's hurry this up. Like, what are we doing?
Okay, but I'm sorry, but if I'm Hal, it's I think it's gonna come down to yo, get your S together because you know what, I'm packing you out soon. I'm gonna start going like daddy.
All right, well, remember this. You guys gotta remember something. 2016, when the quote unquote the reload happened or the reboot was happening, when they traded Chapman, they traded Miller. One of Hal's things to Brian Cashman was, you could make all these deals because Cashman was the one who wanted to do the reset. He goes, you still have to put out a product on the field that will put fans in the stands, which is why Tyler Clippard was brought into the Yankees. So they had somebody there. So I agree with Dave where he's saying Hal's part of is a major part of the problem because they want to make sure that the revenue stream is still there, all the ancillary things are still there, that the brand is still going strong. But Cashman, when it comes down to a lot of the free agents, he's the one who's making all these recommendations. He's the one who's made the recommendations to get Stanton in here. He's the one who made the recommendation to get Joey Gallo here. Those are things that Cashman did.
And to go off what Mark is saying, man, look at last year when this team was playing flat before they ripped off those 13 games in a row. How before June Boone wasn't fired for this team underperforming just still blows my mind to this day. Like, I know it's not Aaron's, well, it's partly Aaron's fault. You're the manager. You're supposed to make sure your players perform, but it falls on the players performing in order to make those wins happen. I just don't understand, like, how as an owner and as a GM, you can allow something like this to occur for as long as it has. It's just frustrating to watch. That's just my opinion on it.
I'm of the thought that this is a really important for Brian Cashman, a really important offseason for Brian Cashman. This might be the most important one of his entire career because if he doesn't produce to where the Yankees are in a position to win the AL East, his job is really going to be in jeopardy. It really is.
Absolutely.
If they don't make any type of moves to improve this club, because right now it's a fourth place team. So going from 2019, winning 103 games and being, a couple outs away, 2 games away from being going back to the World Series, to being a team that, you could arguably say the Rays are better, the Red Sox are better, the Blue Jays are better, and not being a championship caliber team. That's on Brian Cashman to adjust. So this is a time for him to step up and show that he's worth all this money that he's getting paid. So he is restricted by how, yes, but like Paul was saying, when you have the third highest payroll in all of baseball, you have to do a better job. You have to. When you don't have a starting pitcher besides Garrett Cole, Luis Severino over the past decade to even be remotely considered like an all-star, beyond. All right, so there's only been four pitchers that have been good for the Yankees over the past 10 years. CC, Tanaka, Garrett, and Luis Severino. Everybody else, can kick rocks. So we need that guy we need Cashman to make this team better, and it's in his hands.
The easiest way to say it right there. So making this team better, let's talk about a guy from 2020 that everyone had a lot of high hopes for. And now he's also kind of the elephant in the room, which is Devi. I mean, he fell
Oh, yeah,
off.
forgot about him.
Everyone did, but he fell off completely. I mean,
I forgot all about him until you said his name.
From my understanding is that last offseason, he met with Pedro. He was working on a changeup, I think, but then he changed his entire arm angle. He lost the curveball, lost the fastball, lost all the feelings of all the pitches. Paul, has he made any strides to get everything back? I mean, what have you heard about him so far?
I saw some of the videos on the Twitter and on Instagram. He's working. Same thing. Another young kid putting in the work to try and figure it out. I mean, that's all we can ask for at this point. I'm a fan. Always been a fan. Just give me some more reps. Same thing. Kind of just you got to get some innings under your belt.
Now, is it more along the lines of him going back to the arm angle, back to the delivery he had leading up to 2000?
It sure seems like it. It seems like let's go back and let's see what they say. I mean, I don't know what the brass has told him if he can go back or not. It looks like it went back a little bit, and it's something a little different than last year, but it's not the same as it was before. So it's something he's kind of working on and tweaking.
More like a hybrid.
Yeah, it's kind of an in between. Same thing, like that guy again. Same thing. If I can get, I'm gonna say it again, one inning pitcher. Give me that power. Give me the power out of the bullpen. If he can't figure it out, I can get one inning. Give me one inning. Let me get out of there. I don't want it that way, but if I have to have it, I'll take it.
I see Davey as either a starter or out of baseball, to be honest, because he just doesn't have the stuff to be even a middle reliever. I mean, a couple of years ago, he was up to 95, but he never really had that powerful exploding fastball. What Davey has was deception, high spin rate, a really good breaking ball, but that's all kind of like starter type of stuff.
Let's talk about the trade aspect again. If he gets hot and gives you a dozen decent games, you trade him. At that point, if he gives you a dozen good games, you can sell.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you sell him at the highest value.
I can sell him to a team out west. I can sell him to a central team. something that'll, somebody that's like, all right, we have a young guy, we can put in the 3 or 4 hole here and see what happens. Sell him out.
Him and Gleyber going to Cincinnati for Luis Castillo.
There you go. There you go. I have no issue with that. You're gonna have to add more to that though. Especially,
but that's the starting package. That's the start.
Cincinnati is going to get a king's ransom for that kid. They're not going to let him go just for pennies. That's going to be a huge package going back to Cincinnati.
Which is why Gleyber has a huge year.
Silly question. Year. Since we're talking Cincinnati, Joey Votto. Short-term first baseman. I understand he's 37 years old. Short-term first base, maybe a rental type of situation for a year and a half as part of the package. Just to have him out there for first base.
It depends on who we have, right?
We know Luke's can get hurt again if we don't sign anyone.
This is one thing I've been thinking about. That I know that how bad Eric Hosmer's been, but if you take on Eric Hosmer's contract, but you get like a CJ Abrams or a Luis Capasano with him, would you make a deal for something like that? Because Eric Hosmer's contract is really coming down to like 3 one-year deals. This is like the big money deal right now for 2022. But all the years after that are more team options where they're for no money and you can get rid of him after this year if he especially doesn't get all of his at bats. But you get a CJ Abrams out of the deal with him or a Luis Capasano.
Yeah, but I don't need Abrams.
I'm sorry.
I don't need Abrams. I got a stack of shortstops already.
Yeah, but you can then you can take Abrams and then flip Abrams for a number 1.
That sounds fantastic, honestly. But again, are you going to do that? Are you just going to keep adding shortstops and keep going from there?
Oh, well, shortstops are the most athletic on the team, right? You might stack up the shortstops. I mean, we said it before. We got you guys put like 5 of them in the top 20.
How about Chris Paddock as part of that deal instead? To come with Hosmer. Give me some young pitching.
That might not be bad at all.
I actually like the idea of pitching a lot more because
who
cares about
Paddock?
It's one of the hardest positions out there, realistically, and it's like we keep on trying to get the golden goose. The golden goose doesn't come. The golden goose doesn't come. Let's go back to like winning. Like Derek Jeter, we all love Derek Jeter. Let's be real.
Well, here's my thought process.
It was just the captain, and he just kept the team in check.
Since the Nationals are kind of on the rebuild, what do you think the chances are putting the package together to get Patrick Corbin?
No. He had like a 7 ERA in the NL East. I'm good. Also, Paddock had like a 5.8 ERA. So, but he is young, so there's some potential with Chris Paddock. I prefer Chris Paddock over Corbin at this point.
Danny, the way you're going for young and potential, it's like my kids are young. They got potential. You want to sign them?
Yes.
Yes. Can they throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball right now?
Yeah.
I think there's labor laws in place for stuff like that.
Right now, I'm going to say yes.
But that's why guys, that's why GMs love young kids. They could dream on them. And if they hit on their potential, great. If they don't, then you're not investing too much money in them at that. Well, at least currently, with the new CBA, things might change. But you want young people to do great things, and you have the potential to dream on them. That's why I'm not giving up on Gleyber. I never will until he shows that this is the guy. If he's going to hit 9 homers again next year, yeah, like, where's the value in Gleyber Torres at that point? So they're just unpredictable.
Not shortstop, I'll tell you that much.
No, hell no. Not at second base either, for that matter.
It was a good spot on the bench for him.
Well, I keep saying that Gleyber is no. But Paul, another question. Good question though. How much of a rush do you think it's going to be once the CBA thing is done? How crazy is it going to be over 2 weeks? Like, are we going to see some crazy stuff, you think?
I think it goes slow for like a day or two, because maybe even 3 or 4, and then it picks up steam and they just get cranking. I kind of want to see when the actual announcement for first spring training is first, like the first couple games before that. And it's going to be the same deal with players signing into spring training. So again, you're gonna see guys at certain spots, and you'll be like, all right, well, we got that spot. Maybe that free agent can help us, and go for it. Go sign that guy. That's kind of my theory on that. I mean, we'll see what happens with that when we're signing them all.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's the biggest trade you think is going to happen within the next few days? I mean, we're talking Olsen, but you think Ketel Marte gets dealt? Because he's going to get a big package too of prospects from Arizona. Arizona's going to look for a king's ransom for him just because he's on a great contract for them.
Here's a good one. I'm just trying to think in trade bait. How about Joey Bart or Patrick Bailey from San Francisco?
I've said that. I came up with that one before. I said one of the previous episodes we were coming up with different things. I said I'd love for the Yankees to try to get MJ Melendez. He would be my starting catcher this year. Right now, I said if they got Patrick Bailey, he's my starting catcher next year.
Last year, I was on the Salvi Perez bandwagon midseason at the trade deadline. Kansas City wasn't doing anything. Yeah, he's a vet. He's kind of like definitely on the older side. But man, that power is so enticing. The power, the average, the pitching, framing is so enticing. It's ridiculous. Again, can he be a stopgap to Gomez? Can he be a stopgap to someone else?
Actually, you get a Salvi Perez for Gomez. Let Gomez just sit with him every single spring training until Salvi leaves.
I agree, 100%. Let's do it. I'm good with that.
I mean, just don't forget. I mean, what was it? They were showing on Instagram? Gomez was talking to Yadi Molina. I mean, he could sit down there and learn from Yadi any which way. Just like Medina last winter in the Puerto Rican League, he was for the Caribbean World Series. Yadi Molina had a team. His team got booted out of the Caribbean World Series, got booted out of the Puerto Rican World Series, and then he joined up with the other team, and he was the one who showed Medina how to make it through certain innings and how to pitch to people. So I mean, he was the one who guided Medina through 5-6 innings and was just teaching him every step of the way. So having that kind of catcher there is something that's going to be important.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's Salvi Perez, I mean, all the young guys we're talking about, Luis Hill, Medina, Waldachuk, Wisniewski, all those guys looking to come up too. I mean, he would be someone just to kind of push those guys forward and then take all the young catchers along the way as well.
All those guys need to stay away from Gary Sanchez. Because they ain't learning defense from Gary Sanchez, and it's an empty bet.
No, they're not. Do you think? You think Gary gets traded? You think Gary gets traded? You think this is it? This is the year.
Outright released. He has no value right now. It's absolutely. I mean, it's vicious. And like I said, I am a Sanchez fan, but he has no value. Who wants a 220 hitter that's got pass balls every game? He's got a pass ball or two. Every game you're worried about, all right, if the guy skips it and it goes like in front of the plate, is he going to miss? I don't want that on my team. He has no value.
What if he winds up down in South Florida with Gary Dembo teaching him all over again how to do things?
Teaching him all over again? I don't want to be teaching someone all over again. Why do I want to do that?
Well, look at what the Yankees did to him. I mean, they've
doing it.
Yankees screwed this guy up left and right. I mean, they've had three catching. Hold on, one second. They got three different coordinators for him for 6 years.
We messed up with the Gary Sanchez idea when we could have traded him for JT.
The dude's been in the league for what? This is his 8th year. This is his 8th year.
He's been in the league since 16.
For Sanchez, yes. Oh, sorry, 7 years. But come on. 7 years, what are we doing here? Let's get some youth or let's get somebody that works like Perez.
I'm in.
This is Gary's walk here.
Imagine if we would have had JT over him. JT.
I mean, this goes back to Bryce Harper. Spend money, go get Bryce Harper in my outfield.
It wouldn't have mattered because the Yankees weren't going to extend him for all that money with how Hal doesn't like to throw it around.
That's dumb.
Always brings it back to
This is
Hal.
Gary's walk year. Yeah. This is Gary's walk year. So he's got 300 with 45 homers and 120 RBIs.
Yeah.
I hope Gary Sanchez proves us all wrong and bats like
I hope so.
367, 55 home runs, and 150 RBIs. That'd be
all right,
sweet.
So in
and then goes to the National League as a DH.
So at 2017, in only 122 games, he batted 278 with 33 homers. 278, yeah, that's great.
I'll take that again.
I'll take that, but
I'll take that again. Oh yeah.
Are we gonna get that again? Come on.
Nope.
No.
Come on, fellas.
We can
I
only
mean,
hope.
even in
Pray to baseball
2019,
Jesus.
34 home runs,
If
but it
we
was an
do get
empty
it-
232.
Paul, what's gonna happen if we do get it? He's gonna pull something, run into first base.
Sounds good.
Oh,
That
God.
sounds right.
He's gonna have a great first half. Yeah, you're right. Go to the Trop again, run too hard, and
On that
there you go,
godforsaken
Papa
turf
Hen.
down there.
Sweet Jesus, the Trop.
And
What
then
an albatross!
That's such
a
a dump,
stadium.
that place. I've gone to that
Oh,
stadium too many
God.
times.
Such
Such
a dump, but
I
they're
hate
running the AL East right now.
They are.
Exactly.
They're running the AL
Unfortunately,
East with the minimum payroll. They're contending consistently with the minimum payroll, with using their minor leagues,
Mhm.
with signing that veteran guy that can come in there and just do enough for them.
And they trade the guy a year before he falls off the cliff, as opposed to a year after he falls off the cliff.
Yep, they're not afraid to make moves.
Yeah, they're
Not
not.
at all.
Besides spend, they're not afraid to make moves.
Exactly. It's like they don't mind. They're like, oh, we see the potential in you. Oh, you want him? Go ahead, take him. Oh, he fell off the cliff. Oh well, too bad, too sad. Not my problem no more.
the steal of the decade part is
Chris Archer.
for
Yeah.
for Meadows and Glasnow.
Shane Boz. Shane Boz.
And Shane Boz.
Yeah, don't forget about him.
Who's the Pittsburgh GM? Anybody know off the top of their head? I don't even know.
Is it Ben Sherrington or something like that?
Yeah, yes. Ben
But
Sherrington.
it's Sherrington now, but before him, I don't even remember.
I don't know.
Because that guy should have been fired for that deal. Holy cow. What a terrible deal. One of my best friends, he's a Pirates fan. He might be listening to this episode. Claypool, bro, your GM is dumb. I hope you know that. But, dude, come on, man. That's so bad.
Neil Huntington was the GM for the Pirates for 12 years.
Oh,
what was that, his final year?
07 to 19.
Oh.
So, I mean, again, what did the Pirates do for that 12 years? Not much.
I think they made the wild card game a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best thing they're going to do is they're going to have the tallest shortstop in the history of 6'7", 6'8". What, O'Neal Cruz?
Oh, yeah.
So, Paul, you looking forward to August 21st?
I'm always looking forward to everything.
No, August 21st though.
August 21st. Am I missing something?
Paul O'Neal Day.
Oh yes, sorry, I did see
O'Neal's
that
number.
yesterday. I was real busy with work, to be honest. I did see that.
It's all right.
So I got to work
Happens
all
this
the time.
season.
So yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I was at the Andy Pettit retirement ceremony. That was amazing.
Nice.
Me and my wife got some tickets to that. We went to that. That was cool. So that was a bunch of fun. So we'll see about the Paul O'Neal one. Me personally, not a huge Paul O'Neal fan. I know,
Okay.
Eric. You never really like.
We are
I'm a
not
Bernie
friends.
Williams guy. I'm a Bernie Williams guy.
Ah.
If I had to pick an outfielder, I'm a Bernie Williams guy.
All right, I'll give it to you, Bernie.
So,
Those are not mutually exclusive things, Paul. You could be both. It's okay.
I don't
play
want
the
It's
same
not
band
like Star
together.
Trek or Star Wars. You can't like both.
Exactly.
No, I
It's
mean-
not Yankees
He's
versus
going for
Mets.
Bernie for the music too. He probably likes the music that Bernie plays too.
There you go.
Yeah.
He was pretty good in concert. I actually saw him in concert a little while back. He went to a place locally to us.
Actually, my dad, he has one of their albums on one of his albums, and I heard it and I was like, man, it's actually not bad.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm glad Paul got his number retired. It's about time.
No, I agree.
21 years too late.
Just a
Yeah,
solid
for
player.
real. Yeah. And that's pretty much what he was. But, George loved him. So that means a lot. So he was the warrior. I think he deserves, his number. No one was using it anyway. Like,
No, it's been
Well,
forever.
Troy Hawkins wore it for
Yeah.
like 10 seconds and people booed him off the
Exactly.
mound, and that was the end of it.
and that was it. So good for Paul. Good for the Yankees. I don't see another number being retired until Anthony Volpe and Jason Dominguez dominate the
Aaron
2020s
Judge.
and 2030s. Yeah, Aaron Judge. Let's get rid of all those numbers now. Let's give him a good one.
Well, you don't think
What-
they're going to
what
retire
number?
CeCe's number?
No.
No.
Nah.
Messina.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Definitely not A-Rod.
Brett Gardner.
Nope. Oh God, no.
Brett.
That brings up the Paul O'Neal factor. It's a guy that's been there forever.
Nah,
I
Paul
could
O'Neill
see
won
it
4
happening.
championships.
I don't know. That one's tough. I don't know.
But maybe. I think he really is a maybe. And on the CC, there could possibly be a possibility of CC as well, because especially what he's doing with the team afterwards, what he did with the team during his time frame. So yeah, there could be a time for CC
One
as
more.
well.
Greg Nettles.
No.
Oh man,
Well,
Couple
he had a number
championships.
with Roger Maris.
I was
Couple rings.
yeah, Roger Maris. Yeah, that definitely pulls on the heartstrings right there, Greg Nettles, because he was a great player during the '70s, but I don't think he deserves his number to be retired. And plus, like Dave just said, Roger Maris has got that kind of wrapped up.
Mhm.
No, I mean he wore number 9 before they retired it for Maris.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
exactly.
saying.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, not you can't even wear 9 anyway. So
Yeah.
They retired 42 all in MLB.
That's what I was thinking too. Why can't we double retire a number?
Exactly. Why are we going to go through that whole BS about the retired number thing? It's like, who cares anymore? You can always.
I just find it funny that people lose their minds over it. It's like, shut up. Just shut up. All of you. Just
We could make a
Enough.
custom. We could all make a custom jersey and make our own number in there.
yeah.
No
People
one
were-
will-
the custom jerseys coming around the corner with all the logos and all the sponsorships all down the
I heard
down
that.
the
I
way.
don't know Mark, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I could go to the flea market, man. I could get a guy. He'll iron it all on for me.
Couple croquetas and whatnot, huh?
Yeah.
And flea markets, they're all around. They all have that guy. Iron this for me. You got it. Done.
People would revolt if some Yankee wore number 8 again. Like, come on, like no one's ever gonna wear a retired number ever again. It's just what it is. So that'd be kind of crazy. Although I do hate as a fan having hopefully none of you guys have this. If you do, sorry, not sorry, but your name on the back with the personal number. It just
Yeah,
grinds my
no.
gears. That's just a big no for me. Like, you're either gonna wear the number pinstripe home away jersey, no name on the back, unless it's a jersey. I'm okay with the jersey like that, but if you're gonna wear pinstripes, wear it right. That's just my opinion. As a fan, as a hardcore, like,
I mean, I agree
gotta
with you.
do it my way.
I legitimately agree with you, but like, there's sometimes when you're going on like freaking MLBshop.com and you're like, wait, look at this. I want to buy this shirt. Oh, they only give it with me with the name. This sucks.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
sometimes
And
you
then
got it. You get. Like, who cares?
And then the authentic ones are like $300. That's why I don't have one. I'm not paying. So if
sorry,
you're
I
gonna do
think
it,
we all-
go for it. But
Bro,
damn,
We ain't spending money
I-
like that.
listen
Yeah.
to me. You just got to look in the right places. I went on eBay the other day and got a Cooperstown Collection Mickey Mantle jersey for $40. It cost me $51.57 with taxes for shipping and handling. Tag still on it. Men's extra large. It was legit. From the 1957. It had Mantle 1957 in the lower right hand corner of the jersey. Got $40 off eBay, bro.
Oh, I can always
I
say
gotta
the
be
way
like
I got my Derek Jeter jersey back in the day. My buddy just took it right off the rack. Who were at the store he worked at? It goes $20. I'm going, all right, done deal. That's how you did it.
I was already thinking it was on the back of a truck, and now I know it's not even the back of the truck. You got it before, though.
He just couldn't. Oh man, he just took the tags off there. Just left everything else on there. Just took the barcode out there. He goes, nope, here you go, man. You're good to go.
I'm gonna make sure when I go inside any store, I'm going with you, and then I'll give you money while I walk out.
Facts.
All right, you ready to do the polls, Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dave.
Paul, you want to stick around for
Yeah,
the
man.
polls? Or you good to go?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Dave, you got the polls?
Yeah, let's get them up.
So
Alex,
one of the
where's
polls we
the
decided,
music,
Paul,
Alex?
we decided as a group we're gonna follow one minor leaguer throughout the entire season. So on the podcast we're gonna talk about him. This one of the guys we chose. So Dave's gonna tell one of those guys. I forget who it is. I know we put Peraza, we put Volpe, Dominguez, and I think anybody who had a write-in. We had to do whoever the write-in. I know Dave wrote in Gomez as his guy.
I did. Come on,
Twitter.
Yeah,
The power of YouTube.
fun times. Where are we? Okay, so first poll, they got 10 votes. Who should be the minor leaguers to follow the season? Everson Pereira coming in hot at 0%. Anthony Volpe.
Criminally underrated percentage.
Exactly. Then you got the other to be named below, came in at 20%. Jason Dominguez at 30%. And Anthony Volpe coming in at 50%, winning that vote. I don't know why Pereira's not getting any love. That's just messed up. Do better, Twitter. Next one getting 10 votes. I'm starting to notice a theme. Are you hopeful the lockout will end on the 28th? 60% are glass half full, saying yes, and then the Debbie Downers saying the world is ending, coming in at 40%. They just need to figure it out at this point. Yeah.
Well, Rob Manfred showed his face today so all things.
Robot Overlord decided to participate. Cool.
Yeah, he decided to.
Thanks for bringing the coffee.
Exactly, he graced everyone with his presence, so anything's possible.
Yeah, I don't know. You see what Goose Gossage said about how he wants to hit Manfred and shove Cashman in a trash can? It's like, all right, Goose, what else are you not telling us?
He's very subtle with what he says.
Tell us how you really feel, Goose.
The subtlety he has is great. I love that.
So another poll we ran, getting 8 votes. What are you most excited for? Opening day coming in hot, 63%. Paul and Neil Day coming in at 25%. Subway Series, 0%. Sorry, Mets fans. And then the first Red Sox series, 13%. I really think the Red Sox and Yankees bloodlust has lost its appeal over the years since, they did win in 04, 07, and 13. But then it came back with the emergence of the Joe Kelly Fight Club and the Tyler Austin incident with Joe Kelly. So, that's all we have for the polls. Unless someone can prove me otherwise.
Nope. I don't think we could prove you otherwise. I think you are it when it comes to the polls.
Oh, and just lastly, can we just discuss about Joey Gallo complaining like a little baby about the shift really quick? Like, can this guy just learn how to bunt down the third base line and beat the shift? Like,
do you really want Joey Gallo, who can hit 50 home runs to bunt down the third base? No.
Do it.
He knows 50 home runs, but then he'll do 250 strikeouts. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
All right. The strikeouts suck, but I will, but I think there should be a modification to the shift. Don't put it in the outfield. You could put
Danny,
three people on the right side.
We didn't have Mark McGwire. We don't need him. It doesn't matter. Mark McGwire, all he was
down the third baseline.
Get a home run and a strikeout.
You keep butting the damn ball down the third baseline, people are gonna stop shifting on you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, it's just a fact. God,
but he needs to figure out how to stop striking out. Is what he needs to do.
Yes, I agree.
Put the ball in play
and bunt it, and then he won't strike out.
It hasn't ever happened. He's a 200, a 205 hitter.
Yeah.
I think it's 205 in 7 years or something like that. It's not happening. If you haven't figured it out,
he's not gonna do it. The highest he hit in the regular season was, I think, his second or third year in the league in Texas when he hit 259. Congratulations. Woo.
Let's do that.
Like,
I would take 259 from Joey Gallo.
And he's not going to. You're dreaming. You are a dreamer right now, Danny. You're dreaming on Gleyber. You're dreaming on Gallo.
Well, no,
I'm sorry. I just saw that. I saw this.
I'm saying I would love 259.
If the Gleyber
I saw this on Twitter, and I about lost my damn mind. I was like, is this guy for real? You batted 160 In 51 games when you came over here from Texas, you're complaining about 6 guys sitting in the outfield. Do a better job, man, will you? Jesus.
If the Gallo
All right,
dream
I'm off my
comes true,
soapbox.
if the Gallo dream comes true and the Gleyber dream comes true, we're winning a world championship.
Well,
And
what
Gary,
happens?
Why
We've
not?
only won for a couple of years in a row.
Why not? Because I mean that's a huge improvement on the team alone with those two guys, even improving a little bit. You're looking at 3 or 4 more games as in the W column, if not more.
Yep. Both of them at their top of the game could be 4 or 5 win players in terms of WAR. So I think Gleyber's highest was like a 4.1, and you can see Gallo with his defense with a 3.5, 4, another 4. So obviously you don't want to hear him hitting 160, but bunches down third base line, you're gonna hit 180. Like, okay, congratulations. You know, a couple of extra hits, but you know, I still want the 40 homers. Strikeouts are strikeouts, but you know, give me the 40 plus bombs.
There's a ton of strikeouts.
Danny wants his big scary men that hit 50 home runs a year.
Yeah, but strike out 200 times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And out's an out. He's gonna make an out. He's gonna make out 200 times anyway. You know, but you want.
Sorry, he's part of the
100%.
tallest outfield ever with him standing and Judge out in the outfield. The 3 of them in the outfield, the tallest outfield ever.
Every Yankee fan's going to be watching with a guy on second and third and like 2 outs, and Gallo's going to strike out, or Stanton's going to strike out, or Judge is going to strike out. We're all just going to bow our heads and be upset about it continuously. It's a continuous theme.
Yes.
Oh, don't forget Gary in that too, because Gary does a lot of striking out too.
Absolutely.
I'm so sick
And
and
then
tired of
Luke
people.
Voigt, and then add Luke Voigt when Luke Voigt's still on the team. The 5 of them will just look and go, damn, just keep that train going.
As a Yankee fan, I can't keep watching that. I can't keep watching a guy at second base just left on base. Here's a double play. Here's a strikeout.
Bases loaded.
Yep. The double play ball. There's another situation. We didn't even touch on that.
Oh,
How
no,
many
but-
innings are we gonna go into?
See, the one thing I hate is I hate
154 of
how
them.
nobody's running anymore. How nobody steals a base anymore. Why can't we do the hit and runs? Go back old school. Go do some hit and runs along the
Got
way.
no speed.
Because it's all about
You're not-
home runs and on-base percentage. No one gives a damn how many times you strike out as long as you get 10 million walks a season. People say batting average doesn't matter. I'm sorry, batting average does matter.
Agreed.
RBIs matter. That's how you win That's how you win baseball games.
Analytics are great and everything like that, but you also got to remember you got to play old school baseball in a way, and batting average makes a big difference.
Brian Snicker
It's
won the
important
World
to-
Series
to-
this
to-
year
to
without
extent.
using analytics.
No, he used it. He just applied it when he needed it to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference. And also, I had a point and now I lost it. Anyway, keeping going.
Oh man,
There you go.
we have way too much fun on this pod.
So good times. This is what our Friday nights are like, Paul. So Paul, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you?
Paul Woodin 1, the number 1, WOODIN is my last name. I also do the articles for Prospects 1500. I got another one coming out probably either this week or next week about the international signings. We hadn't touched on those yet. And then I'm working on something about the middle infield as we speak. Working a little bit on that one.
Good to hear.
So,
Touching on everything right there.
trying to get as much as I can before the season starts, and we'll go from there.
And now, quick question about the international signing. Do you think
Go for it.
two things? One, Brandon Maya. Do you know anything about him? And if not, or if you sold on him or no? Because he's supposed to be one of the big guys that the Yankees are signing next year in the next international class. So I don't know if you guys kind of take a deep dive into the next year's people or not, or if you just keep it
I've
current.
watched a little bit. He's worked with our buddy Gary Sanchez, and
I saw the pictures with him with our buddy there.
and Hans Montero. He's been working with those guys. But my concern with that is I don't want to go say they're going to sign him next year because we don't know if the CBA is going to change. If they have an international draft, we ain't getting him. He's not falling to us wherever we would be in the international draft.
But here's the thing. Do you think because I've heard stories where the international draft, if I think that there will be an international draft, but I don't think that it's going to be implemented in this year because
I hope not. If it is,
all the deals that have already been made, they're not gonna screw every team over that way. I think it'll come in like 2023.
But here's the issue with those deals. Those deals are not written deals. We've seen multiple guys sign with other teams, including I can't remember the kid from Tampa Bay's name off my top of my head. We were supposed to sign him, and he went and just signed with Tampa for fractionably more, if that.
Wander
Was it
Franco.
Wander
These
Franco?
aren't written in stone.
Wasn't it Wander Franco? Who the Yankees?
No,
Yeah, it was Franco.
he's an outfielder. The guy I'm talking about. It's
yeah. Yan Diaz or something.
We were
like
supposed
that.
to sign him, and then he went and signed with Tampa.
Yeah, I know who
Yeah.
you're talking about. I think his name is Diaz. It was in the Dominguez class. He was like the MLB had him at like the 18th or 19th.
Yeah, there's another one too. I can't think of his name though, right off the top of my head. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. We'll wait and see. But I love him. You can never have enough depth in the minor leagues.
100% on that. I mean, that's really nowadays. I mean, especially with the way that baseball's trying to get rid of all the big deals. I mean, the currency now is all prospects.
Yeah, if we want to talk about one guy in the minor leagues, real quick to touch on besides Arias, Santiago Gomez is his name. 17, I think he's 17. Real fluid kid. Love him a lot. That's my guy from the international class.
What position is he at?
Infield again.
Middle infield, shortstop.
Another shortstop. Yeah, another shortstop.
Just stack
his
them up.
nickname is El Guanto. It stands for it's the rooster. When he was growing up, they called him a rooster because of how he moved and stuff. So,
God,
interesting.
Can't go wrong with something like that.
Yeah, hard worker. I've watched a lot of his video down from Mexico. Hard worker. Kids like just grinding continuously.
That's awesome.
So 10K. That's it. It was great. So all right. I appreciate it, guys. Hopefully I can jump back on with you guys at some point.
Oh, absolutely. We'd love to have you on at any time, Paul. Thank you very
For
much.
sure.
Definitely.
Thanks, Paul.
All right, and just so everyone knows, thank you again for listening to today's episode, and please follow us on all social media platforms, and also remember to follow everyone who is on the listening to the show. Please let your friends know and share it with them, so that way, the more followers you could have on, the winner will be able to get a free hat, and they will also get a free T-shirt. Thank you again, and everybody, and good night.